A substantial thank you to Snow for joining Vasily's Deep Tier and getting a shout out before we started the video. Welcome back to the Body of Coverage. So, Kaneki has received the nerf a little while ago, and I intended to make a video saying that the nerfs are good and it made him a little worse, but not that much worse, and made him more tolerable to play against. Instead, what I've been musing over for the last week or so has been the fact that I'm pretty sure that Kaneki, whilst getting nerfed, and people talking about how the nerfs drop him from S tier to A tier, low A tier even, I'm pretty sure that Kaneki, the ghoul, got buffed, which is a bit insane. So, for context, I've not played the ghoul very much. From PDB to live, I played him a little bit on release, just a few matches, and I had a pretty good grasp on how he works, what's going on. I got his adept, and then I kind of moved on because I was just bored. But then I started kind of actively playing the ghoul after the nerf, because I was curious to try him out and how he feels. What I've discovered, and I've sufficiently tested with, I think, my win rate, because I was playing essentially exclusively in the Blood Moon game mode. Unless I majorly screwed up, I would at least always end up in a game with 8 hooks, which means if I tunneled a little bit, if I did something slightly sweaty and not just be auto-piloting, I would be destroying the match. So what I found is that the auto-aim reduction that he has received, where it is 94% smaller now, actually is a buff. Because now you can reliably, next to survivors, point your power and then catch up. And it is just so straightforward and so easy. And the range nerf actually doesn't feel that bad, especially because you can just use an add-on that makes the range nerf, instead of 1/8 of a nerf to his original range, to instead of a 1/16. You literally half the nerf. And then there's only the best add-ons that made him even stronger got nerfed, but you still have some other add-ons that kind of like a leap speed increase that's pretty good, etc. It is just wild because you have still a really cool power, and you have an add-on that kind of negates a big aspect of nerfs, and nothing got changed around this vaulting over pallets. So it's still really good, and I've run into people running MFT Resi specifically to counter me, and I still I hadn't filled car loops, so I still made it over. I still caught up to people on rock loops where normal killer like complex powers should be really weak. I just caught up to people and I destroyed them, and there was just kind of nothing they could do. And it was just wild, because if I had half a brain cell and I was actually using my power remotely correctly, if I wasn't committing to really bad chases, I was destroying people. I was just absolutely wiping the floor with most teams. Even in the survivor-sided Blood Moon game mode, I was wiping the floor with them. And I was also running a build I haven't really seen constantly run, which is the Distressing plus Chlorophobia build. Because Distressing actually, if you don't know, got buffed after its blood points got removed, which means that it now is a 30% increase to your terror radius. And Kaneki is 40-meter terror radius. That means on like some maps, you have essentially a, I don't know, full map coverage. And if you don't, you can also pair it up with Agi to make your hooks even faster, and you can then throw in a Gift of Pain or something like that to capitalize even harder on the anti-healing. And especially in the main game, they'll get even meaner because they'll actually affect all the generators. And when you have Agi, because you have a 12-meter terrorist increase, that is just, your terror radius is ginormous. And it's entirely unreasonable how huge your terror radius is. And I don't know how this killer is supposed to be nerfed. There's also this thing with the pallet breaking cooldown. So when he breaks a pallet, he now has like suffers a cooldown of one like charge lost. But that's not how it's coded. The way they coded it is it sets your charges to the max count -1, which means especially in enrage mode, if you just used most of your charges or even 2 of your charges, that means if you break up out, your cooldown is actually faster. So if you are breaking up out with no charges, it actually sets your charge to 1 immediately and goes there. Or if you're in rage mode, have a maximum of 3 charges, that means you're going to break up out from no charges and you'll instantly be set to 2. The nerf to the cooldown in most situations actually speeds up your cooldown. And I'm sure that's going to get fixed eventually, but holy shit, man. Why? Why is it coded that way? Why doesn't it just reduce your charge count? And if your charge count is already low or was there like not 1, it just sets your cooldown. Why did they code it that way? Why? And he still has the bug where he grabs you and locks you into the stun animation or the vaulting. So when you're hit by Kaneka's power, you're both locked into this weird and awkward animation where Sora just gonna. But what happens constantly, with no apparent reason, is when you vault over pound and by like charging out Survivor, half the time they get locked in as you're vaulting, which means you spawn inside of them immediately. Like if they can't even move, you spawn inside of them. But even when they can move, your vault is still so fast, you're there. And I just, I was playing a bit of DBD. I was just showcasing things from a partner, and then I just was winning so effortlessly and catching up to you so effortlessly. I didn't put any thought into playing. I'm pretty rusty on DBD because I don't play this game as much as I used to. I don't put in even dozens of hours per week, let alone hundreds of hours like I used to. And the fact that I can succeed so easily is bewildering to me. Like, there is just nothing that teams against me could do unless I was majorly screwing up and they are taking the maximum advantage of the Blood Moon generators. Yes, all in Blood Moon, I've just had, like, enormous win rate, really. And that makes me just concerned that this is the nerf we received, like, multiple weeks after the goal came out, after everyone examined how he performs, and then what we get is a nerf that genuinely, in the hands of a relatively skilled player, makes him better. I feel like I'm insane because everyone else just said, "Oh yeah, that's a fair nerf that makes him a little more tolerable." But I am playing as the goal. I'm not playing as Survivor. This isn't me complaining about the Survivor experience. I'm not playing Survivor much these days. I'm playing Kaneki, and I'm wiping the floor with people, and it feels easier because of the auto-aim. And the pound cooldown, which was supposed to be another nerf to the boring playstyle, actually encourages that boring playstyle because it makes it better, because of how they made it. I am bewildered on so many levels. What the design team is thinking of this killer, because I genuinely think he's still the best killer in the game. Like, he got nerfed, his mobility is very slightly worse. Very slightly. And besides that, he's kind of buff. and that's it. We got the buff to, like, one of the best, like, top 3 at least killers in the game. The nerf that was supposed to bring him in line with our characters made him better. In the hands of skilled players, where he was already really good. And even people who are less skilled, they auto-aim, the egregious hits, they still are there. I often find myself rushing past someone, like spamming, and I still get the hit. Like, there is a constant trend where I dash past them, and then I do a 45-degree snap behind myself, and I do the hit. And I don't think that's fair. It feels wild to me. This is the killer that was supposed to be nerfed. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes so much sense to me that it is what is happening, right? For BHVR to nerf a killer in such a way that makes them better. I don't think we've had this happen much before. Like, we've had this happen to like an add-on for Spirit, or the detection add-on, the Dry Cherry Blossom. But we didn't get a nerf to a killer power that made the killer better before. I don't think this is precedented in Dead by Daylight. So I just, yeah, I would like to know what the hell is happening. Anyway, thank you to my Patreon supporters, Sleepy Judas, Snow, and Sojuice, for supporting me this month. I very much appreciate all your support, especially Snow for the highest, I don't even remember what I named the tier. I'm blanking right now. It's very late. I'm very tired. I'm so sorry. But thank you all so much for supporting me on Patreon. I know I've been uploading a little less lately, but, I've come on off a bit of a manic episode, and I am now back in the saddle, so I'm hopefully going to be uploading again. And yeah, there's a lot of more DBD stuff to come. There's supposedly a Skull Merchant update soon. We're supposedly soon are going to get details for the changes coming from the Willow Rose that they post chapter to PTB. So that's exciting. We still don't know what the hell is going to happen with the Henry stacking system, etc., etc. There's a lot more stuff to cover in the future, and I'm still working away on some videos. It'll hopefully come out later this month. And yeah, besides that, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Well, would you look at that? A fun killer design. I'm sure the HBR would change it down the line. This is an update of the lowest percentile. Get anyone on the map, team. Tell me what the fuck is this tile? Once again, a change by us all unrequested. This did not turn out how the dev note suggested. Anyone involved in this design should be arrested. Here's the deep dive. I'm losing my shit! In what world is that a fucking it? Alright, no, that's it. I quit!